Uranium friends checking in. I'll go over a bunch of stuff. I'm going to try to be quick. Yeah, so if you saw my video with Ben, this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the break of these spike highs. We got it. So we've got continuation of this upward move, right? So URA, volume increase through a lot of its volume profile resistance, which is nice. This is actually pretty nice, right? So, could we run into a little bit of trouble over in the 31 area? Maybe. We'll see. Weekly chart, and you're going to see it in the space, and don't get mad at me, but whatever. There is a possibility of a weekly head and shoulders kind of setting up, so we do have to kind of watch that. But, looks good. Like I said, some volume profile. So, the space looks good. It was a good move. I posted last week that I kind of felt like something was going to happen. That's just feel. That's all BS, right? But yeah, it kind of did happen. So this confirmation with volume is great. It's a great launch. It got through um, its range that it's been stuck in since early February. Okay, and Urnm kind of same deal, right? Urnj a little bit stronger, a little bit of a earlier move than the other two, but they caught up. So good to go there. CCJ daily Fibonacci's, we got to be aware that's coming into this golden pocket here, which could act as a resistance area. And we're going to look at the hourly because the hourlies are pretty hot, and it's through this volume node, but it's going to have to deal with this resistance up here, this volume resistance up here. I just want to see what it looks like when we get a little bit closer in. Yeah, so let's see it get through. Also showing the weekly head and shoulders possibility set up there. So just to keep an eye on it. That's all I'm saying. And you'll also see this in the space. Okay. Big hourly move, zero consolidation, really hot. So, like in my opinion, I'm watching CCJ for a swing entry. I have some calls that I've been rolling up, and those are doing pretty good. But I wouldn't mind getting some physical here, and I'd love to grab like maybe a piece at this hourly 12 EMA, which is right at that 50% fib level. And it's the 4 hour. I mean, that would be some decent consolidation. It'd be very healthy, right? So even if for me, like any back test right now from 45 to 43, 45, yeah, 45 to 43 is kind of where I'm targeting maybe some sort of ads because even the 4 hour chart is kind of hot. So you could see it, it doesn't spend a lot of time up in these levels on RSI here. So it would make some sense that there would be some pullback tomorrow. And I would just probably generally make that general statement across the board. But, what do I know? Something crazy could happen. We don't know. Denison, same deal through the range, strength, increasing volume, possibility of the weekly head and shoulders. Everything's going to look the same. So I'm just kind of going fairly quick, but good positive work coming through in the space in general. Encore is a little bit different, right? Encore already had that rejection, and now it's a retest. So to me, I really like the way Encore trades. It's much slower and less volatile. It's easier to manage. Yeah, this is a big level, but it looks more constructive than the other ones, right? It had its rejection at the 60 at this golden pocket here, and is now retesting. I like that look. I'm just seeing that now, actually. Yeah, weekly making some work here. Regardless of these wicks down here, it's nice little possibility of a weekly bull flag forming, and we got to see some confirmation there. But again, the 12 EMA ride. That's all that matters to me, especially on these momentum moves. Encore is putting in great work. Love the way it trades. Cool DRSI. I like it. What else? I saw LAU had some sort of action today. No, let me see. Yeah, LAU is still range bound, right? Still didn't get through that little spike. So that LEU still has work to do, lagging the space. Mega, it's got to get through that, right? So you're starting to see the strength, the relative strength. Nice volume on Mega, but it's not anything we haven't seen before. So you start to see the relative strength. I mean, next gen, another new all-time high. Uh, just take a look at the weekly. Yeah, I mean it's respecting this big old channel and it's testing the top. So a couple of rejections at the midline is kind of what you want to see technically for these type of channels, right? Holds the bottom, now gets through. Let's see it use it as support. But next gen all time high. So if you're following strength, next gen is the play, and next gen has been the play for years. So yeah, whatever. Great move. It's through its range. It's through its all time high. So there's nothing that can be said bad about next gen as far as I'm concerned because it just keeps making new all time highs. RSI is a little hot, but it can get hotter. SMR is still a daily bull flag. As you recall, I took a trade. I cut half into this strength. I'm still holding a half position, and from this look here, I'm more inclined maybe to reload my half as it comes down to test these lows, and then I'll just be wrong if it breaks down. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it with SMR. It's become a great trader because volatility and volume have entered on this name. So ride the wave a little bit as it goes. Because you could be a long-term investor in the space, right? And say, hey, I need to trade and maybe grab some alpha here and there. SMR is a great one to maybe think about with the volatility. It's gotten above its 12 EMA on the daily and it's holding. It's a couple of back tests on it where it's held. So, and we're getting big time buyer support here, right? So this is becoming a pretty interesting level, and it's a 50% retracement, of this move. So, here's this move from the low to the high, came all the way back. One could say because there's a pivot, I could always look at can always change the fibs on it. But I like to see how this is set up here. So it's back at this key level, this 50% level, and volume profile there is holding up well. So you can see that this is the point of control here too. It's right there. The buyers are holding it here, so it's a good sign. Good sign for SMR. No long-term visions on it. It's become a good trader. It's just what it comes down to. U.UN grinding away. Nice look. Good to see the equities are having a little bit of a. I'll have to look at the ratio, but it's good to see. Just see some equities are actually outperforming U.UN a little bit. So you could get some good moves out of these equities. And if this just remains a steady grinder, that's fantastic for someone who's trading around the core with their long-term portfolio is comprised of these proxy funds and trading the equities. It's a great setup. It's a great way to play a sector. UEC is still range bound, right? So 50-day moving average rejection multiple times here. So what's going to happen, right? What's going to say, hey, there's actually a change in UEC? Well, it gets over the 50-day moving average, right? This whole other moving average stack acting as support. Laggard play, in my opinion. If we don't see too hard of a rejection tomorrow. URG still range bound, right? So there's your laggard play. Looks very much like UEC, right? So UEC and URG have been trading very similar. So look to either one of them to maybe see what the other one might or might not do, right? So UEC breaks out, URG is the laggard. Or if UEC breaks down, URG be watching for that. That's the way I would kind of look at it because the charts look exactly alike. Uroy's still like in hell. But it's testing the top of this recent range, so there's something to be said there. Same thing with energy fuels, 4Us, right? This recent range it got through, it's going to see some moving average rejections, possibly. And we still have these levels up here to deal with. So, but the 4Us has been a little bit of a different trader. So, big board names, they're going to be the telltale sign for the space. Because where does money flow, right? It's not going to flow into stuff that's difficult to buy and difficult to protect against with stop losses and whatnot. No option chains. It's going to go for the names that have option chains and liquidity, and they're on the big board. So it's the first sign that the sector is making a good flip is these big board names. All right, over and out.